Hey everyone, today I'm coming to you with a review on the brand new Marvel Legends Mojo World box set, which is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. Now this set is amazing. All of the figures and accessories that are included in this set are truly some of Hasbro's best work in my opinion. And I have so much to say about this set. I hope it's not going to be the longest video I've ever done, but without further ado, let's get into the Mojo World box set review. So I know you guys all really want to see the figures, but I do want to stress and take some time to acknowledge this amazing packaging. It's something that Hasbro has never really done, minus those X-Men figures they've done recently, but it is a whole TV set. So obviously here you get your remote, and it is kind of 3D, a little bumpy, and this is how Dazzler came. So it's so cool to me that they're using the boxes as like items for this. I've already set this all up in one of my detolfs, and this box fits perfectly in there. And I just have this little Mojo World display, which I'll show you at the very end of the video so you guys know what I'm talking about. And then here we have the MW guide. Mojo World has some wording down there, and then over here you can see, I don't exactly know what an MW guide was. I wasn't even a thought when this technology was around. March 1992, Mojo World, Mojo Mayhem 1989. So I believe that's probably the time when these comics were made. And then the return of Longshot. So that is very cool. And then obviously you can see Longshot right here. So this is how he was packaged, and the Wolverine was also in this box too. So it is definitely bigger than this one. And then the main box is so cool. So it does have this sleeve here, which you can take off, and it's exactly the same. But the point of that sleeve is, you know, obviously to have it be protected, but also you can see all the items that are included with the figures. Now, this is a good time to stress, even though I have said some very positive things about this set so far, there has been a, you know, frequent and classic Hasbro error that has happened with this set for me. So I received, let me just get my Mojo here. He has this hand right there, and he has this hand right there. Awesome. Cool. And then he has this hand right there, and this hand. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't get that hand. I got two of the other side. Yay. I mean, it's something in which it's not really going to affect the figure, because personally, I would have had him with this hand anyway, and it's just hands to me. But still, I paid a very pretty penny on this set, and for me to get an error like that is a little disheartening, but it doesn't take too much away from the set. I'm just, you know, I like airing out Hasbro when I can, but that is definitely a little bit of a disappointment. And you can take this sleeve off right there. And then on the back, we have a bit of a bio and an awesome image here. So it says, Mojo World is a pocket dimension ruled by the tyrannical TV impresario, that is a hard word, Mojo, who set his sights on the X-Men as his next big stars. With Longshot and the mutant hero Dazzler now in his clutches, his television tyrant scuttles one step closer to his ultimate goal, total ratings domination. Indeed. Impresario. You know what? I'm going to get so much in the comments from that. I already know, but just work with me, guys. There you can see an awesome image of Dazzler, all the other characters in this set. So it is a little bit of a story going on with the box set, which is certainly interesting. And then, I guess, I've spent so much time on this. I said I didn't want this to be the longest video, but I assure you it probably will be. So that is kind of how it was packaged inside. There is a little bit of an image back there, so you can use that. I'm not going to take all this out, though. But yeah, very, very interesting packaging and very unique nonetheless. And it is a packaging in which I definitely do recommend you keep, because it can definitely enhance your display of Mojo. So I'm going to put all these boxes away now, and now we are going to get on to the figures. So first off, I am going to start off with the main man of the set, Mojo himself. Now, this is a phenomenal figure. They have done so many great things with this. It is an entire new sculpt. Now, I do have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Yes, there is a solo packed Mojo, but peace and love, kind of ass, kind of bad. It's kind of not a good figure, just my opinion, you know, which is, I guess, what you came here for. I'm just giving you my opinion. Take it or leave it. But I think that Mojo is a really cheap move by Hasbro. I get it. It makes sense that they're putting it out, but it looks so cheap. It doesn't have any of this paint detail. It's just this flat kind of tan color. No painting for most of the wiring on the back of it. I'm obviously not going to buy it, so I can't show the comparison, but you guys can definitely find some comparisons out there. My point is I definitely do recommend you pay the little bit extra to get this box set, because there are certainly a lot of awesome things with it, and you are definitely getting the best Mojo that they have ever made with this set. And when that single one is out there, I just think this, and then this is out there at the same time. You have both options. I just think you don't want both, obviously, because who needs two Mojos? But in that case, if you're going to spend the whatever, 70, 80 on the single pack one, you might as well spend the extra to get the best version you possibly can. And that's just my opinion on it. But I do want to know what you guys think of that in the comments below. Does that figure do it for you? Is it fun enough? But I personally think it's a little bit of a crappy figure. But this guy is awesome. Now, I do want to show you his accessories first. I did acknowledge that little error there, but this pointing hand is very, very cool. Very scary looking finger. That could, like, stab someone. And then this hand is the same as the other, obviously, sadly. But very cool paint detail on it, which, like I mentioned, is not included on the single pack one. And that paint detail carries on through the rest of the figure, as you can see. And then the other accessory that he's included with is a head sculpt. I know there has been some errors going on. I don't know what they are. I think it's he doesn't have his upper teeth or something. That's just weird, but, you know, Hasbro, you guys know. You guys know it. And then these heads look really good to me, but I do prefer this one just because it is more Mojo to me, with the tongue out, acting all crazy. This one is also fairly crazy, but you do have some wiring going around it. Now, I did notice something, and I don't know if this is just on mine or on all of them, but there is some wiring missing from this head sculpt. It's all here, which is another reason why I prefer this head sculpt. It starts the same, and then it kind of just right here, there's none of that blue line. But let me know if you guys got that Mojo or this Mojo set. Let me know if that is the same on your figure, or if it is just on mine like that, because that is definitely interesting for sure. But the rest of the figure is kind of how they did MODOK, the way that they packaged it. It's in a lot of pieces. This is separate. This is separate. The head is separate. The extra head is separate, but I believe the one head was attached to the body. This, where the boobs are, I don't even want to talk about the Mojo boobs. That's weird. But this was all separate. This was separate, comes off, and these legs were all in there, I believe. And then the back part did also come off and can come off, but I don't know if I necessarily want to do that. So essentially what I'm getting at is it did come in a lot of different pieces, so you did have to build this. It was pretty straightforward, but definitely something to mention nonetheless. But just take this figure in, because this is amazing. There is so much to go over here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go over all of it, but all that wiring detail is awesome. I did think these were lights to begin with, but they are kind of just meant to be a base for the figure, because if they weren't there, I doubt he would have an easy time standing on just these 6 arms, because they are very fragile in a lot of ways. He does have these front arms, which are very cool. One hand is open and one is kind of closed, and there is a little off switch for Mojo, but it doesn't turn off because Mojo never turns off. And the wiring does attach into his shoulders right there, but I do find that they do come out a lot, which isn't a huge deal. You just got to put them back in. Kind of like that apocalypse effect, because those always came off all the wiring on him, but same thing on this. And this does rotate as well. It does come off, kind of like a scorpion type thing, but just all this wiring detail is really awesome. And I do think the customizers will even have a better time with this, because this looks great to me, but what a little bit of black wash could do and a little bit more detail on these wires, oh, this piece could look amazing. Not that it doesn't, but I'm just saying it could go even further. And that's another reason why I do think, that's probably the only reason why I think that single pack Mojo appeals to people, is probably because they might customize it. Because that piece, for me, I don't think I could have it displayed like that. I would have to customize it or something, because it just looks too cheap to me. This looks very worth the price and very detailed. And I think if you get the single pack one, it's definitely worthwhile customizing it because of all the sculpt that's on it. Because the sculpt is amazing. Just the lack of paint and lack of effort on that figure is definitely noticeable for sure. But if you are a customizer, I do recommend maybe doing a little bit of work on that for sure. But other than that, there's his big stomach. You can see it is a little bit squishy, which is gross. It's a very gross figure. You can see the wiring on the back. And then this does come off, so you can kind of see the back there, what it looks like underneath. There's the back of that. Then it just clicks back on, but it is very rubbery, which is kind of funny to me. But other than that, I think that's everything I want to go over on the Mojo. So let's quickly get into his articulation, and then let's get on to another figure. So the articulation on Mojo is very, very good for a figure of this caliber. The arm here, or this scorpion arm on paper, goes full 360, and it does go full 360. The head at the top can go full 360 and has a little bit of movement as well. And then the head here can go back, not a lot, down, side, side, not full 360, but you can get it to go to the sides like that. Same thing on both heads. And then the arms go out that much. Down, obviously, you will have to put the wire on after you pose it because it is not going to go with it while it's moving around. It'll constantly fall off. See, they both fell off. There is a bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, which look great, and then the hands go up, down, full 360 on all pairs. I wish I knew that, but I don't. I believe it's all pairs. This hand is on the horizontal hinge, so hopefully that one hand that I did not get is like that as well. And then the ab crunch goes back that much, forward that much, side, side, but that is great movement on the ab crunch. I just find this is such a weird part, especially because you have to put this, oh no! You have to put this on separately. That is just, ugh, it's just that's weird. That's weird. That's definitely weird. It's odd, but anyway, the rest of the figure, the arms are all very agile. The front ones go full 360. They do bend there, which goes in a little more than 90, and you can do the other way, which goes in less than that. Rotation, there's another joint here which also rotates full 360, same on both of those. And then these arms are fairly similar, or legs are fairly similar as these, same movement, and you kind of just got to play around with it to get the pose you want, but mainly it'll be something like this, I imagine, just having all the arms splayed out like that, and you can kind of move them if you want to do some cool photos or, I don't know, stop motion. But pretty good articulation on the Mojo. I don't really have any complaints with it. So let's get on to the Dazzler. So the Dazzler figure, in a lot of ways, you could say is one of the main draws of the set, because this is the only way to get her as of right now, and definitely I can imagine in the foreseeable future. I don't think they'll remake this, because they did remake one about a couple years ago. So that one is on the market, and this one is all modern with the double jointed pinless, yada, yada, yada. I personally think this figure is better, and I definitely do think it is worth considering, because this box set is the only way to get her, and I don't think, if you're a fan of the character in the X-Men, a design that you want to miss out on. So definitely think about it. It is a great figure. It is all pinless, but what you see is kind of what you get. So there's not really any surprises that you can't see here on camera. I love that 80s or 90s kind of hairstyle there. That is just awesome. And then the effects, I guess I could take off, but I love these effects. Some of the best Hasbro effects they've done. A lot of color there, dual molded, looking great. And then the rest of the figure is just kind of blue, like a red line here, the star there, and then some skin showing. But other than that, it's pretty simple, as you can see. And then she is included with a set of extra hands as her accessories, and I guess the effects are considered accessories as well, but there they are, just a set of fists. And they do have the finger showing on one side, the other is all gloved up. There you can see it's like that on the fist, as well as the other side. But other than that, there you can see start there. There really isn't a lot to talk about. I do think it is a really good figure, though. I definitely do think it is a good figure, and you should consider it. But let's get on to her articulation. So the head goes down. Oh my goodness. A lot. Back. A little bit of tilt. Full 360. Arms go out that much. Down. Full 360. Bicep swivel. Full 360. Double jointed pinless elbows. Let's go in. If they would go in. Come on. Let's do the other side. Okay, there we go. That much, which is great. And then the hands are all on a horizontal hinge, up, down, full 360. You know what it is. Ab crunch goes down, back, side, side, full 360. Legs kick forward that much, back, splits, upper thigh cut, double jointed, pinless knees, and the ankles go up a great amount, down a great amount, and ankle rocker pivot. That is the articulation. It is time for Longshot. Now, this Longshot is absolutely amazing. I'm really happy Hasbro waited on this because, you know, I know a lot of people wanted this for a long time and they kept kind of procrastinating on it. But what I noticed with this figure is there is so much modern Hasbro technology they used on this and just styles of modern Hasbro joints that they did, like the neck. And I really think that it was a great move to wait on this so we had all those technologies available. So we got this awesome piece in the end. And the thing with this figure is it isn't the only way to get this figure as of right now, at least. Right now it is the only way. That's what I meant to say. But there is a new X-Men retro wave coming out and he is in that. However, he is a little bit different to this one. The one in the retro set, which I do think I will still pick up, does have a yellow star, I believe, and he does have the star on his eye, and I think that's the only difference. But this is kind of more of a powered down Longshot, which does look great. He does have his knife. People were saying he kind of looks like Bucky, and I do see that. There is the knife, and he does have a place to put the knife. It just goes in like so. Very, very good knife, too. I was using it with other figures, and it works a charm. And then there is his iconic kind of Wolverine-style hand. And as you can see, he only has 4 fingers, or 3 fingers, and a thumb, which kind of freaked me out at the beginning. And then I realized that he is technically similar to Mojo in that sense, because I actually don't know a lot about Longshot, but I believe he's either the same like species as Mojo or was made by Mojo. He was made on Mojo World, nonetheless, I think, but correct me if I'm wrong. Don't know too much about him. I just remember a cool couple of things of him that I saw in the comics. I really did think he was a cool character, and I did want him, not as much as some other people, but I am happy to have him nonetheless. He's included with an extra set of hands, a fist, and an open hand. That is just odd to see for a figure. And another thing that I do want to mention about this figure is makes me sad in some ways, because this is the body that the HasLab Ghost Rider was going to be on. The Robbie Ray's Ghost Rider was going to be on this body, and it is an amazing body. I hope we do get that figure eventually, and I do think we will, given time. But for now, we can enjoy this Longshot, and the rest of the sculpt is amazing. It is an entirely new sculpt, so they are getting their use out of it by putting it in this and that retro wave. And this kind of shakes around. But other than that, I think that's all I really have to say about it. I am going quicker through these figures than I normally would because this is a fairly big video, so I don't want it to be too long for you guys. But other than that, I think let's just get into the Longshot articulation. So the articulation on this figure is amazing, and like I was mentioning, the head does go up, back that much, down, side, side, but that's not what I was mentioning. What I was mentioning is this awesome neck joint, which is fairly new for Legends. I believe one of the only figures that has it is the most recent Hawkeye from the Infinity Ultron wave. That was very good on that figure. A little long-necked, but this, it does look very good, to me at least. Great movement, and this is why I'm happy that we got this figure in this time, because we have all this awesome pinless technology and this articulation that we didn't have a few years back. So that is awesome, but great articulation on the head. I don't think you could have asked for anything more, and the hair doesn't really even get in the way, which is great. Arms go out that much, down, full 360, bicep swivel, double jointed, pinless elbows, and then the hands go up, down, full 360 on a horizontal hinge. All of them except this hand being on a vertical hinge, up, down, full 360 for the knife. Ab crunch goes back forward that much, back, waist cut, full 360, leg kicks forward that much, back splits, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and boot rotation, which is awesome to get, full 360 on that, and the ankles go up that much, down, and ankle rocker pivot. let's get on to the Wolverine. Okay, so the Wolverine is very simple. It is just a figure here with head articulation going full 360 on this ball joint. I do find some of the paint does scrape, as you can see, so keep that in mind. Claws look good. Rest of it is pretty good. And he does have a stand, which does help him balance. It doesn't go this way, but I just want to see if that would work. I guess it does. But this side is what it's meant to be on. But yeah, that looks pretty good for the Wolverine. I don't really have anything else to say about it. So let's get on to, I believe, some comparisons and then my final thoughts. Now, here we have the Mojo next to the most recent Apocalypse figure. I will have a review for him coming up very soon, but that is kind of just to show you the scale of the Mojo figure, which essentially means he is huge, because he is. This Apocalypse figure is pretty big, but this Mojo just, you know, is technically shorter from his head, but the rest of the figure is just way more massive than this Apocalypse, and definitely does do justice to the design of the character in the comics. But let's get on to another comparison here. Here we have MODOK next to Mojo. Mojo and MODOK. They don't really have any relationship in the comics or any time, I believe, together. So I just thought I'd show these together because they are very unique Marvel Legends and were kind of just things to build out of their plastic-free boxes. I believe he was in plastic-free, the Mojo. He did come out like 2 years ago. I know you couldn't see the figure inside, but I don't know if there's plastic inside. Regardless, that does look very, very good. Here we have the Longshot and Dazzler next to the Mojo, but I also thought I'd throw in Wolverine because that is kind of the most known X-Men character next to one of the most insane-looking X-Men villains, so I thought I'd put them together because, you know, you do get the chibi Mojo World-looking version in this set, but you don't get an actual Wolverine, but that is what a Wolverine would look like. That is the Love Triangle 3-pack version. But now let's do some comparisons with the two 6-inch figures. So there we have Cyclops and Wolverine next to these two, both of those figures being from the Love Triangle 3-pack. But yeah, they look very good. And then the final comparison I have here is... So here we have my temporary kind of display for the Mojo World set, just to kind of show you what it looks like with all the awesome cardboard goodness that is included with it. Now, for my final thoughts on this set, I absolutely love it, and I highly recommend it, especially over that single-packed MODOK. I know a lot of people, or some people I know even, were canceling their orders on the set to get that single-pack one, and I was like, no, don't do it. It's so good, this set. And I do definitely think it is. So if you do have the extra little bit of money, I do think you should go for this set over the single-pack Mojo. But with both of those figures out of the picture on this set as a whole, I think it is amazing. And I do think it is worth the, I believe, $130 American price. I did pay a lot more than that, close to $200 around there Canadian, which is definitely expensive, but that is Marvel Legends nowadays. And I do think this set is awesome because I have always wanted a Mojo. But overall, I think I'm going to have to give this set a 9.5 out of 10. There are definitely some things that are a little bit lackluster, especially because I got one of the wrong hands. But other than that, I can't really think of anything wrong with it. I mean, one of the arms on my Mojo is a little loose. But other than that, I think it's an amazing set, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I have a lot of videos coming this week. Like, comment, subscribe, and we're about to hit 1,000. Let's get there, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. But until then, Mojo. Bye, guys.